also asks, Ron Essler Reminder. Hey, I'm starting to speak fluent Cerebus fan. I know who Ron Essler is. If you are short on questions, I'm curious about the Cerebus Companion, referenced in the Buyer's Guide for Comic Fandom, number 471, November 26, 1982. And Margaret said, Jen, what do you want to know about it? On the CFG site, Cerebus Fangirl site, Cerebus Companion, Jerry Sweet, published in a very limited edition by the author Jerry Sweet. There is an electronic version at the above race-based website link. I have also a PDF version, which is pretty large, 18 megabytes, Jerry Sweet Cerebus Companion PDF. Right-click and save as on link, 17.8 megabytes in size. It is a summary and discussion on Cerebus up through Jacka's story. As far as I know, it was never released in a book format. The race-based link is dead. Oh, that's so sad. I don't even know what race space is or what a link to it is. And it's dead. Oh. But there is a PDF version on this Facebook group under the file section. And then Jen clarifies, is this the same one as referenced in 1982? The copyright is 1989 on the file you mentioned, which I had printed out years ago. It doesn't include interviews, unpublished artwork, photos, nor sketches. If it is different, then I'm curious what it morphed into. And Margaret mentioned, Ron, when you asked Dave Jen's question, I wonder how much that news blurb has to do with the Cerebus collector stuff from his fourth notebook. Seems very similar. Bingo, Margaret. Now you're talking about what Cat Ironwood was talking about in 1982. Albatross 4 covers Cerebus issues number 41 to 45 with 99 pages out of 108 pages scanned. A couple of the pages dealt with a never-published title called Cerebus Collector. There is a content listing on page 14. And there you go. I'm not going to go through the whole contents listing. But yes, this was a reaction to a publication called the ElfQuest Gatherum, which I don't believe Wendy and Richard published. I might be wrong about that, but I think they did it through Fantagraphics, or is that just some weird fever dream that I had? Anyway, it was basically unpublished ElfQuest stuff, interviews, a couple of other things, raw materials, and I thought, hey, that's a great idea. I'm gonna do one of those. I will do a Cerebus version, but instead of a Gatherum, I will do the Cerebus Collector. Here's stuff that Cerebus fans would be interesting in collecting, which they can't collect because there's only one of them, and they're in the Cerebus archive. And then I got the whole list done, and I went, is anybody going to buy this? It's like, how much of this stuff is genuinely of interest? And it was, well, there's stuff here that's genuinely of interest. It's just of interest to how many people. Because I don't want to go and find a publisher for it, which means I'm going to have to publish it. And if I'm eating copies of the Cerebus Collector 15, 20 years from now, now is the time to make sure that that doesn't happen by just saying, no, I don't think I'm going to do that. The sketch that Margaret includes from the notebooks, yes, the cover is done. through and find it before we did this conversation here. But I did get the cover done to the Cerebus collector. The bell jar on the right, that's got the prototype Cerebus stuffed toy that Sally Hitchens did, which was the only one that had white fur, because that was the only kind of stuffed toy fur that she had at the time. She would go out and get gray fur if we decided to go ahead and do these, but this was just, is it possible to do a Cerebus stuffed toy that's 6 to 8 inches high or whatever it was. It was very, very cute, and it's gone. I have absolutely no idea where the Sarah Hitchens prototype of the Cerebus stuffed toy went, and that's one of those questions that gets attached to a 6,000-page graphic novel. Where did it go? I wouldn't have thrown it out. I don't think I would have ignored it. I don't think I gave it back to Sally Sarah. I don't think she wanted it back. I don't know. Did Denny have it? And did Denny throw it out? So it's one of those, it did exist. It would be nice that it was at the Off-White House on its own pedestal like this with a bell jar over top of it. But I haven't seen it since the 1970s. Copy of Cerebus number 1 on the wall. I can't remember what the other two images are. I will go and check that. I know where the piece of artwork is. It's in with basically the project would keep getting revived. One of the questions became, well, okay, here's all of this unpublished stuff. So it's the Cerebus collector. They want to collect all of the stuff. Here's the stuff that they don't have. That if I do this book, it'll only be in here. That got merged with the idea of doing a black and white volume 17 of the Cerebus trade paperbacks. Here's a trade paperback with everything in it that isn't in the trade paperbacks. Now, that, as Margaret knows and as Jen knows, that's far easier said than done. If you do sit down and say, okay, this is going to be a volume that's going to have everything in it that's black and white, not the epic stories or any of the other color work, just the black and white Cerebus stuff that isn't in the trade paperbacks. How many pages does that work out to be? And that becomes the same kind of question of, look, I can't even sell copies of The Last Day, or I can sell copies of Latter Days, but 50 copies will hold diamond for a year, 8 months, or whatever, before they have to order another 50 copies. If I do a trade paperback, volume 17, with all of the black and white material, and it turns out to be 400, 500 pages, first of all, I have to pay Sean to remaster all of it. Then I have to make up a complete list, and then I have to put it all in order, and then I have to solicit for it. And then it's, okay, here's how many that you sold. I think I can make more money doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Spawn and Cerebus number 1 and Cerebus number 2 and High Society prints. I can't get out of that warm spot. This is like Mr. Freeze in the old Batman TV show. Everything is absolutely subarctic temperatures except this little spot here, and that's the box that I'm in. So it's one of those. I've got a stack of stuff that is. The last time that I visited this was when Sandy was working with me on a part-time basis, but every week, and went, no, this is good. Well, let's put together a project of this, and this will sell really well. And it's like, well, okay, you start to put it together, and then okay, when did this come out? It's like, I don't know, sometime in the 1970s or 1980s. Well, you can't do a book that says, oh, this came out sometime in the 1970s or 1980s. It's like, no, we want to know exactly when it came out and exactly why it came out. Well, in that case, it's my work again. I can't get this project off of my desk and onto anybody else's desk without that somebody coming back and going, well, what's this? And when did this come out? And what do you know about this? And it's like, no, homie, don't play that no more. It's when it's off homie's desk and it's on your desk, then it's going off onto somebody else's desk, and then it's going to turn into money, and then homie gets his payday. Homie, you got to do all of the heavy lifting on this. We have no idea how it's going to do. No, that's not going to happen. So I'm not meeting anybody halfway on this. I'll see what I can do looking down the list. Man, there's stuff in here that I know what it is, and then there's others that I'm going, I have no idea what that is. So if there's stuff where I go, okay, I know what that is, I know where there's a copy of it, and I know where I can lay my hands on it and get Rolly to scan it, I will do that, and then send it to, email it to you, and you can put it in a moment of Cerebus. But believe me, like I say, this is not meeting anybody halfway and going, hey, how about this? Isn't it time that we publish this? It's like, if there was an easy way to publish it, that would be fine.
I know Sean is chomping at the bit to do the miscellany volume. Like he really, really wants to do it, but it's a case of finding the time, getting the resources. We only have a 25-year-old printed copy of whatever. That's going to be a lot more work than, oh, hey, here's the original art scanned in at 1200 DPI. But he and I have talked about it in the past, and it's, oh yeah, we really, really, really want to do this. And he really wants to do it right, not just slap everything together and, okay, it's good enough. He wants it to be